Is David Johnston the right choice as new independent rapporteur to investigate foreign election interference?
David Johnston's a good man, but he's the wrong choice for this particular job. He's close to the Prime Minister, and that's been made public. So the image here, I think, is very important, and he's beyond reproach in some ways, but not the right person for this job.
Well, I'm not sure I have the right expertise to make that judgment. He certainly seems to have a really impressive career behind him. It's an important issue for us to be focusing on, and I hope he gives good advice to the decision makers in Ottawa.
Well, I think for David Johnston, of course, our former Governor General, he was, of course, appointed by a Conservative Prime Minister. So I think there's a bipartisan element to that. And I think he does have like a good record of kind of like handling those kind of difficult issues. So I think he is actually a very good choice.
Well, from what I've been hearing of just listening to the debates in the House of Commons, and it seems like a, what is it called? Public inquiry would be what's called for. This seems like he's trying to do something out of norm. So, but I don't really know enough to know about it, but it seems to me like he's not following the right channels.
I would say absolutely not, because of the sheer fact that he is actually a friend of our current Prime Minister and has had a long-term friendship with the family. And so for that very reason, I'd say we'd have a conflict of interest. And we should have somebody independent. What we really should have is a public inquiry with just citizens, ordinary citizens who are in that game, and we can represent the left, the right, bring everybody in and collectively try to find a solution. But a one person with all that power never seems to work very well, because we saw the results of the last investigation we had, which was related to the truckers, and it didn't seem to yield much of an output out of it.
I think for a Canadian who has a very good reputation, for most of us, I think he's an excellent choice. And I think he'll do a good job, and whatever needs to be done, I think he'll see to it.
What I've heard that makes me suspicious is that he's a family friend of Justin Trudeau. So how can you have an unbiased analysis when there's a friendship behind it? So probably not. There's got to be somebody else that can be unbiased.
No, as a Governor General, he was a good Governor General, no question. He was just so Canadian and just right. It's wrong for him to step into this position. It's just too much of a conflict. You know, everybody can see that. Meaning this position where Mr. Trudeau has advanced him as though Mr. Johnston will examine this question of interference, out of the question.
I do think that Mr. Johnston is not the right person. I think there's a major conflict of interest there. I think it's, again, a liberal investigating another liberal, and I do think that is not a benefit to this country.
Yeah, I do. I think it's the right guy because, first of all, somebody's got to do it. That's the first thing. And second, there'll be plenty of people looking over what he's doing. So I believe that he's going to be fair. And if there's any question, people will question it.
No. Why? We need an inquiry with a committee with a bunch of parties involved to make sure that it's all above board.
Personally, it's not on me to say who is going to do that or who is responsible to do that. The most important thing is whoever is chosen to do that, the person should actually be, how would I say, be scrutinized and then be monitored during the process of doing that. So it's left on the government or the agencies responsible for doing that to actually do that. So it's not left on the individuals to decide who should do that.
He was put forth by the standing government, so I think there should be more of a bipartisan choice, I believe.
He probably could be replaced by someone that's different, but you know, if we run our elections properly from this point on, knowing that something may have happened before, I don't know why they would bother going back over stuff like that.